Hi folks, Pete here from Ashton's Cars. Today we're looking at a 2014 Vauxhall Astra SRI Diesel. A little bit different from most of our stock this because this car is actually a Cat S. It's been involved in an accident and repaired. It's a car I've taken in part exchange and it does drive very nice, although there's a couple of very minor cosmetic imperfections that I'm going to point out to you on this video. But it should be one of the cheaper 2014 Astras of this style in this model, because of course being a Cat S, it is worth less than a normal clean Astra diesel, but still drives as well, still does everything it should, everything works. It's got navigation, it's got a very nice spec on it, this particular car actually. So I'll run you through the car, show you a couple of little bits on it. I don't want any sort of nasty surprises for anyone who buys the car, but these Cat S and Cat N cars, they can sometimes be a bit of a bargain, especially if you buy one that, like this, drives very, very well indeed. First of all, the car has had some paintwork on it. You would know that if it's a Cat S because it means it's been involved in an accident. I can tell for a start that this tailgate is not the original paint, because look, I can see the sort of primer coming through by there. It's going to be touched in, but it's clearly been painted before, so we're going to get it tidied up. But be aware that it has been painted before. Because it's white, it doesn't really show up though. There's never any problem with sort of colour match on white cars, so it's quite a forgiving colour to repair. Also, the front wing this side has been repaired, as has the bumper. Okay, so you've had a tailgate, a front bumper, and this wing. It's a new wing by the looks of it that's been put on there. So that's why it's a Cat S. And there's a couple of little bits of trim, like the toe-in eye cover that's missing, and a little bit of trim on both sides there, which I think is just a piece of plastic trim. So I'll probably get those put on it before it goes out to a customer, but they've obviously, you know, were damaged or weren't replaced when it was damaged. So that's the negatives. Let's have a look at the positives. Well, it's a 14 plate Astra, it's a diesel, they're 30 quid a year tax, they're very good on fuel, they do about 60 odd to the gallon, very comfortable, comes with things like cruise control, navigation, Bluetooth telephone, good spec on it, and for the money that we're going to be putting this car up for, probably one of the bargains of the century. If you're after a cheap, reliable diesel family car, look no further, because this is going to do the job for you. It's not going to win any shows because obviously it has had previous paintwork and stuff done on it, but if you're buying a Vauxhall Astra, I'm assuming that's probably not the reason you're buying a car anyway, to win shows. You're buying it because you need something cheap, reliable, economical to run you and your family around in, and this Astra SRI is going to do that just perfectly. And it's not a case that you can look at this car from 10 paces away and think, oh yeah, that's been repaired. It does look the part still. I'm walking around it now. It's a nice bright looking car, but I know what's been done to the car. I can tell by sort of panels what have been repaired, and you know, but that's only by looking closely. So it's a smart looking car. If you pull up in it, it's not going to look an eyesore, it's not going to look out of place. It's very, very clean inside. I'll show you inside it now. And the SRI spec is, you know, a very nice specification for these cars. They're not too loud and leery, but they are subtly more sporty than the standard Astra, with their nice alloy wheels on them and the front fog lights and a few other little bits. Let's have a quick look inside. Let's see what you get for your money in here. So there we are. Nice cloth seats, but no real wear on them at all. Dashboard's a nice layout and in very good condition. You've got plenty of extras on this. It's 6-speed manual, it's got cruise control. I'll show you the navigation screen, how that all works in just a second. And just to show you into the back of the car, again, plenty of room. You'll get 5 adults in here without any real problems whatsoever. It's, of course, it's an Astra, it's a family car, it's designed to do a job, but it does it very pleasantly and it's well put together. And the spec of the SRI does make it a little bit more enticing than a basic Astra. And essentially, because this car is a Cat S, you're going to be picking up an SRI Astra for less than the cost of a base model that is in the category. So, you know, it is probably a nicer car to drive, to be honest with you, and a nicer car to own than a regular Astra Life or whatever their base model is these days. So there's the boot. It's a good size. There's not much to talk about really, apart from the fact it is split fold seats. It's got a reasonably deep, capacious size. You would expect that. The Astra is a class leader in this sort of sector, so it's designed to do a job, and it does it very, very well indeed. Let's jump inside. Let's have a quick start up of the car. I'll just put the camera by there so hopefully you can see everything. If the lights look like they flash at all, it's not the lights, it's actually the camera. So we'll start her up. Let's skip through the fuel warnings and the change your oil soon warning, which we'll probably do before the car goes out anyway. I'll just press that to tell me again that it's got fuel. And there we go. Nice layout to the dashboard. The dials are very clear. It's got a nice, reasonably thick rimmed leather steering wheel because it's an SRI, so they do come with a little bit nicer steering wheel than the standard one. I've got air conditioning. It does work. It blows ice cold if I put it on cold. I've got nice clear heating controls. I quite like the layout, the stereo system, and I've got this navigation screen here. It's not actually a touch screen. It's operated from these buttons on the stereo, but it's fairly easy to use, especially once you get used to it. You've just got a home button by there, and I use this big twirly knob then to flick between different things. I can go to my player, which has got FM. It's also, I think, got I believe it's got the Bluetooth streaming on it as well. I've got my phone system. I don't think I've got anything hooked up on it at the moment, so it's not going to come up with any. It has got USB input on it as well, and an aux input, and of course it has got quite a nice navigation screen. I do like the layout of that. It's a big screen, it's pretty well set up, and you know, it's a nice clear display, so certainly a lot better than you get in a lot of rivals. So yeah, I mean, it's a Vauxhall Astra at the end of the day. It does exactly what it says on the tin. You'd not want it to be doing anything, you know, anything different to what it does. I do like an SRI model because I do like things like the leather steering wheel and this little bit of spec. It does elevate it over a normal Astra for me. I'll just give this car a quick rev. It's smooth, it's quiet, and there's no smoke. That's exactly what you want from a diesel. There's not much more to tell you really. Quality wise, it's surprisingly good actually, and it's a car I'd be comfortable running around in all day, so hopefully that gives it some kudos. So there you have it. I'm going to price it to sell. I'm being brutally honest with you that it's clearly had a bump, it's clearly been repaired, but having driven it from behind the wheel, there's certainly no telltale signs of that. And you know, the car has been mechanically checked over, and it will have these little bits of trim items put back on it, so it'll be looking pretty much perfect when you get it. We'll just do the touch-ins around the back, we'll put the trim back on, and you've got yourself a cheap Astra SRI. So if it's of interest, give me a call. 07932 873 646. That's the number. Please give us a like, give us a share, subscribe to our channel. And feel free to leave a comment below. I mean, have you previously had a category N, S, C, D? There's many different categories of these cars which are allowed to be put back on the road. How was your experience? My experience personally is that having had several of these cars myself and actually run a Cat C before, that you can pick up a bargain as long as you're looking, you know, you get the car mechanically checked over before you buy it. We'll make sure we've done that. You should have yourself a nice cheap Astra if you decide to buy this. My number one more time is 07932 873 646. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and hope this was of interest to you. Goodbye.